Hi everyone. So today we are going to calculate current and prior periods in Power BI. So my scenario is that if I'm selecting from 13th of January to 15th of January, right now I'm able to see three dates. So these dates are my current period, and in my prior period I have 12 January, 11 January and 10th of January. So I should see a total of 6 dates. So I'm going to create two tables. In this table I am actually going to show my 6 dates, and next to it I'm going to write current and prior, and here I'm going to create a matrix. So I mean, not a matrix, a table itself. So I'm going to show aggregated data of current and prior. So the current will have a total of all of these three dates, and prior will have the total of the prior dates. So for that, first I'm going to click on enter data here, and I'm going to call this periods, and this will be current, this will be prior, and the table name will also be periods, and I'll load it. Okay, my table is loaded. Now I'm going to remove the state, and I'm going to add my periods. Obviously this is not correct, but we are going to fix it. So I'm going to create a new measure, and I'll call it total sales period wise equals to. So first I'm going to define a period for my prior date, because for current date I don't need a period, right? My just my total sales measure is going to give me the sales. So this is necessary for a prior period. So I'm going to create variables. Start date is min of my date calendar table, right? End date is max of my date calendar date, and my date difference. I'm going to calculate date difference. So date diff equal to date difference start date, my end date, and interval is going to be day. Alright, now I am just going to test this out. So I'll return date diff, and I'll pull this in a measure. Okay, I think I should just remove this and see. Okay, so the date is 2, but I actually want 3. So I'm just going to add 1 here. Right, so now we're going to build a period. For that, we're going to write prior start. Prior start is start date minus my date diff, and my prior end is my end date minus date diff. Now my date period. Okay, I think I'll directly return it. So return, or wait, I'll just calculate it. Prior result equal to calculate my total sales So first I'm going to remove the filters because then I won't be able to see my prior date. And now I'm going to define a period. So my order date, I'll just directly apply it on order date. Date, order date is greater than or equal to prior start, and my order date is less than or equal to my prior end. Alright, I'll test my prior result. Okay, so it says 65. Okay, so from 13, 12, 11, 10. So from 10 to 12, start date has to be 10, end date has to be 12. It is 64. So which I had 65 in my result. So this is accurate. 13 to 15. Wait. Yeah, 65. Okay. So now I'm going to come here and I'm going to pass an if statement. If selected value of my periods is equal to current, then just give me total sales measure. Okay, I missed a bracket here. Actually, I'll write a switch statement. That would be better. Switch true. Okay, now my selected value of my periods is equal to prior, then give me my prior result. Alright, else blank. Okay, so now I don't need this card. I'm gonna delete it and I'm going to put this measure here and I'll remove this. Okay, so my current period total is 3766, which is correct. If I just on the decimals, two decimal places, then it will give me the exact number as 64.77. Alright, so this is done. And now here what I'm going to do is, now here you can see current and prior, but if the user wants to see the dates instead of current and prior, then we can actually do it with a pseudo table. So first I'm going to create a pseudo date table. I'll take a new table. I'll call this as calendar pseudo to calendar table. That's all. I'm going to reference my calendar table and I am actually going to connect it to my calendar table, but it is going to be an inactive connection. and I'll make it as one to many, inactive connection in a single direction. Okay, yeah. So now this date slicer is coming from the calendar table, and here I am going to change this. I'm going to use my date from my pseudo table, right? And make this as my date. Okay, and this has to be in a data type. Okay, yeah. So this number is definitely wrong now, but we are going to fix it. So now we are going to create first a small measure. We're going to create a flag table. Something went wrong. Okay. Mm, anyway, I was just creating a measure. Anyway, the table object with the name table does not exist. Okay. What if I create a new measure here? Okay. Thank you. So I'll call this as my flag. Okay. So I exactly have to calculate my period. So I'm actually first just going to copy that measure that I created for my total sales period wise. I'm going to calculate this part, sorry, copy this part, and I'll take my flag measure and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, so now I have all my periods ready. Now I'm going to return if my selected value of my pseudo date is greater than equal to my prior start, because prior start is my smallest date and my maximum date is my end date of my current period. So selected value of my calendar pseudo date is less than or equal to my end date. Then give me 1, else give me 0. Okay, now I am going to add this flag variable, flag measure in my table. Right, so from 10th of January to 15th of January it is giving me 1. Now I can use this as a filter in my date table, but first I have to calculate my total sales measure. So I'll take a new measure and this will be total sales date wise equal to calculate sum of sales. And now first I'm going to remove filters coming from the calendar table. So remove filters coming from my calendar date, and then I'm going to use a used relationship function because I have already built an inactive connection. So this is between my calendar date and calendar pseudo date. So use relationship function, it activates the connection only when Power BI is calculating this particular measure. Okay, so I'll add this as well. So for now I'm getting all the dates because I have not applied the filter. I'll remove this flag from here and I'll add it as a filter flag is equals to 1. Okay, so now why am I getting only 3 dates, 5 dates? Hmm, there is no data for ninth. To check, there is data for ninth. 13 to 15. 13, 14, 15 is my current. 12, 11 and 10 is my prior. 12, 11 and 10. 12, 11 and 10. Maybe there is no data for 12. I did not check that. Okay, yes, there is no data for 12. I'll apply it again. I'm very sorry for this confusion. Okay, so now either you can show the current word here, exactly like this flag variable. Instead of passing 1 and 0, you can write current or prior, or you can just show the prior dates in light gray. So I'm actually going to do that now. I'll just copy my flag measure, copy, and new measure, color, background equal to. Alright, I'm actually going to use a switch statement here because I really have some trust issues. Switch true if my selected value of my pseudo date is greater than equal to prior start and less than equal to prior end. Okay, you then have to give me a color which is light gray, comma. My second condition is going to be the selected value of my calendar pseudo date is greater than or equal to my start date, and my calendar selected value of my calendar pseudo date is less than equal to my end date. Then just give me white, else it has to be white only. Alright, I am going to test this out. Alright, so if you want to show the word current and prior every time you're in this table itself, then instead of light gray you can just write current. Sorry, these are the prior dates, these are the current dates, but I'm going to it doesn't look good now. Every time there's this current, prior word, so I'm actually going to just color code it, because prior dates, it is quite obvious that if a date is in gray then it is a prior date. So apply this series to date, background color based on a field value, color, background. Okay, I'm going to apply it again to my total sales. Color, background. Okay, and I'm going to sort this. Date has to be in a descending order. Okay, so this is how you create current and prior dates table in Power BI. Thank you for watching.